Hey friends, have you looked at today's date? It's November 30th, 23, aka 11/30/23, the trio of numbers that mirrors the digits worn by the most prolific trio in NBA history, or at least one of them, Klay, Steph, and Draymond. They dominated the basketball landscape, and actually, if you add all those numbers up, it's 64. 6 is the number of finals they went to. 4 is the number of championships they won through their 11 years as teammates. But this season, it really has a drastically different feel so far. It'll be the first time that the Dubs Big Three will enter December with a sub-500 record, and their frustration, it's pretty clear.
Right now, we're just in a little bit of a rut.
We have to make adjustments. We can't just keep doing the same thing.
We just got to get more organized. We're not doing a great job of getting organized.
This team is sliding, and the margin for error is Zippo in the West.
Andrew Wiggins and Klay Thompson can't make a shot.
Is Klay Thompson going to be able to get back to that level?
What do you want me to bench me?
Klay has an average under 15 since his rookie season.
Sometimes you earn these things like patience and time to find yourself.
So with that as the backdrop, this question was brought up in a production meeting a couple of weeks ago, Legs, and I wasn't sure any of us were quite ready to go there. But yesterday, Zach said that it feels like we're as close as we've ever been to saying, okay, is this it for the Golden State Warriors trio with everything that we've saw? How close do you feel like we are to that point?
Yeah, we're pushing in that direction. You know what it is? There's more reasons than ever to think that, because it's a collective. It's not just one thing or one guy, or you're wondering, like, because they needed all those pieces to fit, and one of them maybe is hurt or struggling. This is permeating throughout their entire roster. Now their depth is even affected. They're going to miss Gary Payton for a while. Chris Paul's banged up, and his question's always been availability when you need him the most. Klay's struggling. Wiggins hasn't played great. So when you add it all up, the totality of it, you feel like the only thing keeping their head above water is number 30. We still believe in him, and so we're holding on to it. But definitely, for the first time, you're starting to really doubt whether they are going to be able to get this together and be relevant and an actual legitimate threat in the Western Conference in the second half of the year. I think it's fair to think that right now based on the way that they've looked. And the only reason we don't shut the book entirely is because of Curry. He's the one guy that's keeping this thing going.
Curry and the cachet maybe that has been built up.
Look, I think their true level is closer to the 6-2 start than whatever has come since, just because of the chaos of Draymond being suspended 5 games. Everyone other than Steph pretty much underperforming. I think they're better than they've been lately, maybe not quite as good as that 6-2 start. And that's the worry. Legitimate threat is the term we just used. To be a legitimate threat, which I take as like you're in the conference finals or capable of doing it, you got to beat 3 other legitimate threats in the Western Conference, which is loaded with very good, if not great teams yet, other than Denver, but very good, very good, very good, very good. Like, it's hard to beat one of those teams 4 times in 7 games. The Warriors they're going to have a run where they look more like that 6-2 team. That's going to happen. I want to see more Moses Moody. I think he can help them have that run. But closer to that 6-2 team is still not going to be good enough to get where they still think they can go and want to go. They've got to hit another level, and I'm not sure internally they have the talent on hand to do it, but we'll see. They're going to give it every shot they have.
We have to switch things up. We look unorganized, and I have to find myself. I never thought in my wildest dreams that I would hear the Golden State Warriors say those type of things. And it came from Steph Curry, Draymond Green, and Klay Thompson. We just heard the clip. And so my thing is, what is the problem? We're talking about a group that has been together, a big 3 that has been together and delivered 4 championships. What do you mean we have to get organized? What do you mean we have to switch some things up? What do you mean I have to find myself? You are who you are. And at the end of the day, when I see this, I'm trying to understand which direction are they going in, right? Like, this is not the same culture we're accustomed to seeing. Like, we're seeing guys all over the place. At times, you can see the frustration on Steph Curry's face. You can see Steve Kerr getting frustrated with Draymond. You want Draymond to be Draymond, but damn, at some point, you still got to go out there and deliver. And Klay is a whole nother story. So again, I'm with Zach. The 4 M's, Moses Moody, more minutes. Like, he needs to be out there. You drafted this guy in the lottery. Every time you put him on the floor, he's producing. When are you going to combine the two? And I can't harp on this enough. of actually still competing for a title and actually building for the future at the same damn time.
Guys, there's three things that I think are true about the Warriors. Number one, they have earned the right for us to believe that they can turn this around and still compete to get this done without question. Number two, ever since that night in Boston 2 years ago, this team has been regressing. And that, frankly, includes not having the offense without Jordan Poole. They may not miss Jordan Poole in the locker room, but they miss him on the court. That's just the truth at this point. And the third truth is this is a $226 million payroll. It cannot continue. And I'm not talking about whether or not Joe Lacob and his partners can afford it. With the new rules, with the penalty of the second apron, it handicaps you to be on team building and recovering and changing your roster when you're in that level. If you are not competing right or be right there to win a championship, you cannot stay in the second apron. It's not feasibly possible. So this is going to work itself out one way or another. They're either going to be that type of team or they're going to be forced to make major changes because they can't stay up there under the new current rules.
Park.
You know, one major piece has already left the dynasty already. And he's actually working over here with the network with us, and that's Bob Myers, okay? He's a big part of that culture. So when I think about how unorganized they look, I don't know, like I'm not willing to sit up here and say that the Warriors are going to turn this around. Andrew Wiggins right now, he looks not interested in the game of basketball. Yes, he will show up occasionally like he did against the Kings, but his love, his joy, I'm starting to question that now. He's had 2 big contracts. He got his championship ring. Like, I don't see that same fire that I saw when he first got to the Golden State Warriors, and that's another problem. I want to try to boast at what I look like. I'm on fire. It's NBA over here.